All right, everybody. After a 1 week hiatus
Right.
due to the lack of games and busy schedules, my 60th birthday party, or party, not really a party, but 60th birthday trip, we decided to take the week off. Everyone needs a week off, right, Nick?
That's right.
It hasn't been a grind. We love doing this, but it's just
Right.
we needed a week to get ready for the
Right.
playoffs.
Right.
Fucking do it. All right, do a little catch up here.
Right. I just got to do a quick PSA.
Go ahead.
Um, Ken Nadaski, if you're out there, I lost your phone number. Please text me when you can. Thank you very much. Okay, continue.
Well, let's wrap up that story. Kenny Dassie, who I went to high school with at
Right.
Miami Killian,
Right. And I went to college with.
and Nikki went to college with him at Jacksonville. And
Right.
then me and Nikki became friends at Maryland,
Right.
and we connected through Nadaski.
Right. Exactly.
Unbelievable small world. Okay.
Exactly. And this was in the pre-internet, pre-Facebook era,
Yeah,
the prehistoric times.
these were payphones we're connecting to them. We're slipping
Right.
quarters in the machine. Right.
Right.
All right, so Oregon ends up being the only number one, the only undefeated team of the year, number
Right.
one seed, won the conference tournament. They ran the table. They were great all year. That's why I'm wearing their hat. Um, One thing I want to talk about that's really ramping up. This is as of 2 days ago. There's 1,700 kids in the portal already.
Right.
And it looks to get to 3 to 4,000 again, maybe even
Yeah.
5,000. I mean, I think kids are going to the portal just to be in the portal, just to say they're in the portal, to find
Right.
out their market value.
Right.
What do you say about that,
Nothing
Nikki?
wrong with that. I mean, that's the American way. Let's see. Let's see what they can do. I thought I'm going to get into this a little bit later, but I thought one of the bigger developments was Dave Clawson leaving essentially retiring early at Wake Forest because I think he's saying I can't play this NIL game. I develop my players and then they're going to leave and go somewhere else.
After
So,
11 years there, right? And not a lot of winning there. I mean, he won some games, but
right.
pretty
He's a
average
good
teams.
coach.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty average teams though. Um, Not as many coaches getting fired, and we're going to go over that a little bit because there's a few big name coaches, Nick, that took pay cuts to stay at their gigs.
Right.
That is very uncommon in
Right.
in college sports and professional. It happens, but not in college.
Right.
Um, Fighting the Heisman wait is over, Nick. What do you think, man? I call Travis Hunter the best player in the country all year, hands down. Plays both ways. He's a sick athlete. I don't know if he deserved the Heisman, but what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I sort of think it came out like to give ourselves some credit. The four guys that we discussed, Ward, the running back from Boise State, Gentry,
Genty, right?
Travis Hunter, and Dylan Gabriel. And those are the four finalists, I think. And I think it came out pretty good. Gentry was closer to Hunter than I everyone really thought he would be. But he's a really good player, and the Heisman's, it's not as big of a deal as it used to be. But
I thought this year it got a little more tread than it normally does.
think it got a little more luster. You
I
you
thought
may
it did
you
this year with Genty, almost breaking Barry Sanders. He'll probably
right,
break it in the playoff game.
right,
And Travis Hunter being such a freak, playing both ways, that got
right,
a lot. And Cam Ward, complained that his stats are better, and Shador saying my stats are better than Dylan Gabriel. Why am I not there? There was
right,
a lot of I thought a lot went on with the Heisman, more so than usual years.
right,
Um, Now the playoffs are all set. Here we go.
right,
This is what we've been talking about all year long.
right. No more conjecture. Now we know.
Right. And I pulled up our first week show and see who we like because we had some forecasting done in that first show of the year. And we had a lot of these teams in it, man. I mean, we didn't have SMU. We had Clemson. We had Texas. We had Notre Dame. We had Ohio State. We had Georgia. Um, we didn't have Indiana, obviously, or
Right.
Tennessee or SMU, but everyone else we had. So
Right.
that's pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
considering we hadn't seen one game yet, right?
Right.
Um,
So let's go
so
through them.
yeah, let's go through them, man. So Friday night, under the lights in South Bend, Indiana, Notre Dame, Indiana comes into Notre Dame. What do you think about that game, man? I think that's going to be a really good match.
I like I think it's going to be a good match. I think Notre Dame will win. I think it'll be close. I
It's
don't know what the weather forecast is for South Bend on Friday
going
night.
to be terrible.
Yeah.
It's either going to be rainy or snow or cold or windy.
Right.
It's
Right.
not going to be 70 and sunny or
Right.
70 and warm. So let's not even talk weather because we know the weather's going to stink in most of these
Right.
locations. Then we get to Saturday at noon. SMU comes to State College, known as the worst weather capital in America.
Right.
Um, I really like Penn State here. I think SMU's done. I mean, I think they've overachieved, and I think at this point, I think Penn State beats them.
All
So
right.
not that we're going to picks now, but I
Right.
do like Penn State there. All right, the next game, Nick, I'll let you talk about it. Texas hosting Clemson.
So right. So the question is Clemson out of their league if Texas brings their A game?
No,
Maybe,
no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I do think that Dabo loves these big games.
Right.
I think he has a little something extra for Texas.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Right.
And then the last game of the evening, the game of the week, as far as I'm concerned, Ohio State hosting Tennessee, man. Two big time programs have been really good this year. I think they're both 10-2, right?
Right.
Um, we'll see, man. I think it's going to be a tough road for Tennessee to go into Ohio State and win, but Ohio State's limping into the playoffs where so is kind of Tennessee. I don't know, man. But so when you look at the bracket, which are they're not realigning them, they're not resetting them, the conference champions get the buys, all that stuff. Oregon's got to play that winner of Tennessee, Ohio State. That's a tough hoe.
Right.
Georgia's got the Notre Dame, Indiana winner, another tough game.
Right.
Um, Penn State SMU has Boise. That
Right.
seems like a pretty easy track. Um,
Right.
and then Texas, Clemson play Arizona State, which it seems like an easy track, but I think Arizona State's pretty good.
Right. They are.
So those teams that got the bye, it's a huge advantage, obviously, for getting a
Right.
week off. But um, it looks like Oregon got the toughest road, man, and they're the number one seed, which doesn't make as much sense. But
Right.
that's the program this year. It could change next year, right?
Right.
All right. So the wrap up for this week, Nick, is the tire still has tread on it.
Right.
And that is in the coaching parallel. I'm going to go through topics. You let me know what you think. All right.
Okay.
Carson Beck hurt in the SEC game. Is that going to be an issue?
Yes.
I
He's
do.
played a lot of foot. He's played a lot of football at Georgia. I
He's
mean,
played
they'll have
hurt this
backups.
year.
What?
He's played hurt this year too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they got a problem.
Right.
I think Notre Dame or Indiana, they're going to play. They may beat them. I think they
Right.
got a problem. Um, what about Navy? Wearing my Roger Staubach today,
Right.
taking down
Uh,
Army in Landover. We're the only
right.
two that said they would beat them, by the way. I
Right.
think. And the other people had Navy, but me and you went right with them. You called it a pick 'em, but it was actually 6.5 point. They were underdogs by 6.5. What'd you think about that game?
I didn't watch it in any depth. I guess Navy just played a great game and beat them soundly, right?
Yeah, and I watched a lot of it. Navy knew exactly where Army was going to go on defense. Like on defense, Navy's defense was there before Army guys got there. They
Right.
stopped that quarterback Dillon. They stopped him, and then on offense, they just outmuscled him on the line of scrimmage. Man, I thought it was a great W for Navy, man.
Right.
Wow, I didn't. We picked them, but
Right,
Army was obviously the prohibitive favorite there. But that game always goes wherever you don't think it's going to go. Right, that game has always been very unpredictable.
right.
Um, Here's a topic, Nick. Marshall withdraws from Independence Bowl versus Army because too many players transferred or in the portal.
Right.
That's
So
bad.
I think it's probably a sign of times to come, until, maybe deadlines get adjusted. People are going to, hey, the coach can't bitch because the coach would leave in a New York second if he got a better deal.
He did leave. The Marshall coach did leave.
Oh,
That's why the players went into the portal. Right.
right.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. The coach left, and then the players went into the portal.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I think the deadlines need to be shifted, right? Maybe to the first of the year or something.
right,
So guys, if they want to sit out, they can obviously opt out. But
right,
um, but once they go to the portal, I guess they don't want to get hurt and ruin their chances of going somewhere else.
right.
Um, Teams with home field advantages were 4-1 in the conference championship games, man.
Yeah,
And none one even played at home, but the only team that really lost that had a huge advantage was Penn State in Indianapolis, because they had a lot of fans there. I don't know if you watched that. It was all white.
right.
It was a lot of Penn
Their
State
fans do
fans.
travel well.
They do. Yeah, and it was close. It wasn't too bad from
Right,
Pennsylvania to Indianapolis.
right,
Um, no Alabama team in the no Alabama this year. They didn't make the playoffs.
right.
What do you think, man? I mean, I
I
think
mean that's fine. They lost to Vanderbilt. They lost to I'm trying to think who else. They lose to Auburn? No. Um,
no, they lost to Vandy. They lost to Oklahoma at the end of the
yeah,
year. That was a bad.
yeah. That I'm fine with that.
I'm not, but that's fine.
Yeah,
I just like them, but I think
yeah.
they're one of the 12 best teams.
Right,
They just had bad weekends, and it cost them. I mean, sorry,
right,
you got to play everybody the same.
right.
All right, so this is part of the topic that tire still has tread. So here we go, Nick. Bill Belichick to UNC.
Yeah, that's nobody had that cut saw that one coming. So
No,
he's second in the all time in the National Football League in
right,
wins,
right.
and I guess he never coached never coached college football a day in his life or high school. He's always been a pro guy for the
Yep,
last 50 years. So this is definitely going to be different. I'm glad I guess he's coaching with at least one son, his son Steven. It was the
right,
defensive coordinator at Washington. I guess he'll
right.
go down there. I think he'll do great.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think it's a 2-year deal. I think he's done after 2 years.
Right,
I think they'll get frustrated with him, and he'll get frustrated with the program because he ran the Patriots like a dictator, right?
right,
That's what we're doing. He had
mm,
say so in
right,
everything in college. You have an athletic director, you have a president, you have a dean, you have
mm,
teachers, you have
right,
professors. I mean, there's a lot of parts that he can't control, and I think
right.
eventually that will freak him out.
That's a
But that's
good, excellent point.
yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
This is one that I added today. Michael Vick to Norfolk State.
yeah. I mean, I guess he's a hometown person.
Yeah,
He's from Newport News, I think.
yeah, he's from
So yeah, give him a shot. I
yeah.
mean, he can probably do a good job if wants to. I don't know what the budget is at the school or anything like that, but it'll be
It's the
interesting to watch
Dion
him coach.
phenomenon, though, right? It's the Dion
Yeah,
phenomenon. Ex-players want getting into coaching, and
right,
there's a lot of money in coaching. So why not?
right,
It's a nice post deal
right.
after they get done. Whether he's a good coach or not, I don't know. But it's a good start. I'm glad he started like Dion started at Jackson State, something
Right,
small, get your feet wet, and then boom, he popped into Colorado.
right.
Rich Rod back at West Virginia, UVU,
Yeah,
WVU.
WVU.
What do you think about that, man? I know they love Rich Rod. It's the last time they were actually really good with him.
The hire the second time tends not to work out great, but we give it a
No,
shot.
it doesn't.
I mean, he
It's
was at
like,
where he's put at Jacksonville State, I
yeah,
guess last year,
he
this
was in
year.
Arizona too.
Yeah, Michigan, Arizona. So
Yeah.
yeah, let's see what happens. I think that's a program that's going to have some trouble in the NIL era.
I
And
don't think so. I'm
yeah.
gonna disagree with you there. I think
Okay.
they have NIL money. I think they have big boosters, man. There's like 5 or 10 very wealthy guys in West Virginia, and they're all
Right.
big boosters. And as long as somebody strokes a huge check, maybe what's the senator who owns the Greenbrier?
Oh, Mansion.
No, not Joe Manchin. The guy who was the governor who's now the senator.
Oh, Jim Justice.
Jim Justice, he's a huge booster. He's a billionaire. He writes a check, they're good, man. Someone's gonna write a check.
Right.
I think they're in good shape with Rich Rod.
Right.
Um, he's probably got a three-year leash, right, to get things straight.
Right.
It's all about money. Recruiting is money now, but
Right.
I think he's gonna go deep in the portal this offseason too and bring in a
Right.
bunch of dudes. Dan Mullen leaves the TV studio to go to UNLV.
Yeah.
Kind of a low job for him, right?
Right.
He was at Ole Miss, he was at Florida, and now he's at UNLV.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, maybe he can get his coaching career going again because he didn't leave Florida in great shape for Billy Napier.
No.
Maybe, let's see what happens. Maybe he's inheriting a pretty good team from Barry Odom, or, you
Yeah.
know, but maybe some guys are going to look to transfer out. So it's a tricky situation. We'll have to keep an eye on it and see what happens.
Yeah. I'm happy for Mullen to get back in. I
Yeah.
think he's a good coach, man.
Yeah.
And maybe a low pressure job like UNLV will succeed there.
Right.
This is an interesting one. Brian Kelly given $1 million back to the nil at LSU out of his own pocket.
I don't know. What's your take on that?
I love that.
Yeah.
That's he makes 9, 10 million a year,
Right.
tax write-off. It's a collective, it's a nonprofit. So why not, man? I mean, he's
Right.
just putting his money where his mouth. He's saying, hey, I want to win here badly. I want to win so bad. I'm going to give $1 million to go get players. So I was stunned by that because he's he's
Right.
he's a terrible human. But to do that, that's pretty good stuff for him, man. I think that's
Right.
good PR for him too. And I think he's mildly on the hot seat there. I
I
mean,
agree.
the stove is on and it's on simmer right now. But if he goes, 8-4 next year, they're going to crank up the burners then.
Right.
All right, Norvell at Florida State, who we've just completely trashed this year,
Right. But he
gives
deserved it.
gives back 4.5 million of his salary back to the school. Wow,
Yeah.
that you never see.
Right.
That's a lot of money. I mean, I
Right.
think he's making 10 million, but
Right.
what do you think about that?
I guess it's, pretty the same story. He's got to win next year. Otherwise, he's gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was part of keeping his job, maybe, saying, hey, I'll
Right.
give back some of my money to keep my job. I really like it here, right?
Right.
Um, so the coach from Marshall did leave, Nick. He left
Right.
for Southern Miss, which
Okay.
to me sounds like a lateral move. I don't
Right.
I don't understand that move. Um, Another retread, Frosty, back at UCF for a
Right.
second stint after his failed Nebraska debacle.
I don't know what to make of that one either. We give it a shot.
I think he wins there, man. I think he does well there. He did well there before. It's a low pressure job. It's not Nebraska. I mean,
Right.
Nebraska, you're the state. You're the whole state.
Right.
At UCF, you got Florida, you got Florida State, you got Miami. You're like the third or fourth, fifth wheel there, man.
Right.
I don't think it, I think he does well there. I think that's a good spot for Frosty. Mike Gundy restructures his deal after school threatens him to fire him with cause.
Right.
Is this considered blackmail, Nick?
Yeah.
I
You
don't know, is
blackmailing me, Jake?
it? I'm gonna say yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. But Gundy loves that place too, and he loves that job.
Right.
And he runs Stillwater. I mean, he's the mayor of Stillwater. So I mean, but he's got to win some next year. 'Cause last year they were 9-3, I think, and this year I think they're what 5-7, six and
Yeah,
six.
but I don't think they won a game in the Big 12 all year.
Yeah, so I think no, they were like 3-9 this year. That's what it was. You're right.
Oh,
So they're terrible.
yeah.
Terrible. All right. So let's go over the picks for last week or
Okay.
week 15, 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
You were 4-5,
Ooh,
134 and 126 for the year. Nice work, Nikki. 51.53%. I won a stout 7-2 lap 2 weeks
all
ago.
right. Good job, Fernando.
Yeah. 54.41% winning percentage, 154 to 129 losses. Nice
All
week.
right.
All right. Tulane versus Army. You like Tulane. I liked Army. I thought Army had more to play for than Tulane. And I
I tip
think
my
this
hat to you.
this cost them the Navy game though, because they laid it
Right.
all out for that game. And that I think
Right.
that's one of the reasons why I said I picked Navy. And Army beat them 35-14. UNLV plus 3.5 versus Boise in the Mountain West. We both love Boise. They won 21-7. Nice W for Boise. We just thought they had too much to lose, right? They
Right.
win, they're in the playoffs. They lose, they're out. Ohio versus Miami of Ohio. We knew nothing about this game in the MAC. We both picked Miami of Ohio. We both lost. Ohio beat them 38-3, a beatdown.
All right.
Uh, Iowa State versus Arizona State and Jerry World. You liked Iowa State. I've been on Arizona State since like week 8, man, since they started
Right.
making that
Well
run.
done. Good job,
40,
Fernando.
yeah, 45-19 over
Right.
Iowa State. They beat them badly. Um, Georgia getting 2.5 versus Texas in Atlanta, home field advantage for Georgia. We both like Georgia. 22-19 in overtime. What a game that was.
Right.
Um, Marshall getting 6 versus Louisiana. You like Louisiana at home, playing in Lafayette. I went with Marshall just on a hunch, and they won 31-3.
Well done.
Yeah. Clemson, 2.5 points versus SMU. We both like SMU. We thought there's no way they're going to get beat. They lose. They were down big and they came back, made it close. Clemson beat them 34-31, but both of them got in. Clemson, the automatic bid, right? And
Right.
SMU got the enlarged bid over Miami. That was
Wow.
huge.
Yeah.
And I
That's
think if
probably
that,
deserves.
yeah, but if that game isn't as close as that, because
Right.
they were losing pretty badly, I think Miami, they're in, and Miami or Alabama are in.
Yeah.
They're out. Miami or Alabama are in. Penn State versus Oregon. Both liked Oregon. Oregon won 45-37. And then we both liked Navy, and Navy won 31-13. What a game that was.
Right.
All right, this week we're gonna pick the playoff games and we're gonna pick a few bowl games to wrap up the
Okay.
week. We're gonna start with Tulane getting 11.5. That line has moved a little bit, Nick. I checked it tonight before we get
Right.
on. Versus Florida. What do you
I'll
think?
take John Summerall's Tulane Green Wave plus 12 there.
11.5, but okay.
Right.
I'm gonna
11
take,
and a half, plus 11 and a half.
I will not. I'll take Florida.
Okay.
It's in Tampa. They're gonna have a
Right.
boatload of Gator fans. They're
Right.
obnoxious. And Tulane's quarterback is out or he's in the
Right.
portal. They got some problems. I think they get beat badly. Okay, now we're cooking with gas here. Nick, Indiana gets 7.5 versus Notre Dame Friday Night Lights.
So the weather's going to be terrible, as you said.
Yeah,
We're not exactly sure how terrible, but I think 7 and a half is a bucket of points here, and I'll take the Indiana Hoosiers.
Hoosiers. I will also take Indiana.
Yeah,
I think this is a high scoring affair back and forth.
right,
And I think in the end, it's good. I think Notre Dame wins in the end in a close game, maybe even overtime. But I think the 7.5 is the cover for me because at half point, the hook is what makes it. I think
right.
it's a 7 point game all day, maybe a 3 or a 4 point game, and Indiana's in it. I don't think they get blown out here in this spot. I just don't. I think Signetti with 2, 3 weeks of getting ready,
Right,
a pretty good coach. I think he'll have them spitting blood when they come out of the tunnel, man. And
right,
it's an interstate game as well. They're both
right,
in Indiana, and
right,
that'll make him really juicy. All right, Saturday, 12 o'clock, SMU getting 8.5 in-state college versus Penn State, which, by the way, is a road trip game of the week, which, if you haven't been to state college, you need to. It
right,
is a hoot. It's fun.
right,
I hate those. I hate their teams. Love their students. Love the town. It's a great college atmosphere. I mean, one of the best in the country. And I've been all over the country, and this is one of the best.
right.
An interesting twist on this. Bo Prabilla, their backup quarterback, who's a backup but gets a lot of reps during the
Right,
game,
plays a lot.
went into the portal and is not going to be available. He's out. If anything happens to Aller, they're in trouble.
Right.
So, what do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I mean, our city's coming back for next year, so the other guy is going to go out to raise some cash for himself.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think that again, that's a lot of points to be given SMU, and I'll take the Mustangs there.
Okay. I will not. I'm going to take Penn State at home. I think they throttle them. I just think this is a good spot for them at home.
Right,
12 o'clock start, I don't like for them. I wish it was a night game because
right,
fans will be frothy. But at 12 o'clock, they'll be there at 6 a.m. ready to go. The fans will be semi-frothy. But I just think it's too much to think SMU is going to go travel halfway across the country into that stadium with those fans in that weather. I There's no way. I mean,
right,
if they win that game, that'll be one of the biggest wins ever. I mean, that would be a huge
right.
upset. Forget the 8.5. I think Penn State scores 38 on them easily and beats them
Oh,
pretty handily.
all right.
All right, Clemson, the 4 o'clock game, getting 11.5 in Austin, and Texas is limping in here, man. They have not looked great, and they have quarterback issues. Arch Manning's transferring, he's
Right,
staying. Quinn Ewers is staying, he's transferring. I mean, it's drama central in Austin, right?
right.
What do you say?
I'll take the Clemson Tigers plus 11 there.
And I am also going to take Clemson. I
This is not a small amount of points. I mean,
No, it's a lot of points, but
right.
if I had any guts, I would take them on the money line. I think they're going to beat Texas.
Okay,
I got to be honest with you. I think Texas is wounded. They got a lot of infighting, a lot of dissension. There's guys looking to leave. They're
right,
talking about is money and where they're going to be next year. What about this year? You still got a whole season to play here. You still have
right,
the most important part of the season to play, and you guys are discussing where you're going to be next year. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's like reel them in already. What are you
right,
doing? So I think with all that's going on, Clemson's quietly just plotting right now.
right.
And I think they beat them. I think they're going to beat them. I'm going to say it right now. I would take them on the money line.
Okay,
I don't know what that number is, but that's where I would be.
it'd be nice. Yeah, if it'd be a nice payout if it hits.
Yeah, Tennessee plus 7.5 in Columbus Saturday night at 8 p.m.
Can I take the under here?
Oh, what is the over under? I'm sorry.
I don't know. I don't know, but I want to take it.
All right, hang on.
No, no. I mean, you're right.
I'll
I'll
look it up
take
real
Ohio
quick.
State getting a touchdown and a hook.
Ohio State's given a touchdown in the hook.
Yeah,
You'll take Ohio State?
yeah. I'll take the Buckeyes.
Okay, the over under is 46.5.
Oh, okay. It's not as high as I thought it would be. Okay.
So you still want Ohio State or the under? I
Yeah,
don't
I'll take
care.
Ohio State.
I will also take Ohio State. I think they wake up here.
Right.
Um, they haven't really done much to prove to me that they have, but I think that break from not playing in the championship games got them refocused. Ryan Day's a good coach, man. Everyone's trashing him. He is playing for his job though, because they lose here, he's done. He's out.
Right.
And they're talking Mike Vrabel,
Right.
the ex Tennessee Titans coach, to come in
Right.
to run to run Columbus. So That is the game of the week, obviously. I think the most competitive game, the best game of the. I mean that Tulane. I mean that Indiana Notre Dame game's a good game too.
Right.
But this would be the game the week, which I'm 13-2 on this year. So taking
All
a
right.
I'm putting my record on the line here.
Right.
All right, in the last couple games, Coastal Carolina getting 10.5 versus University of Texas San Antonio in Myrtle Beach, home of Coastal Carolina, by the way,
Yeah, I'll take Myrtle Beach. I mean, I'll take Coastal Carolina all the way there.
with 10.5.
Yeah.
A lot of points.
Yeah.
I will take them as well. Yeah, at home,
Right.
why not? And then the last game of the week is Northern Illinois getting giving up 3 versus Fresno
Right.
in Boise, Idaho.
I got to go with Fresno. No, no. Wait, hang on. I've seen both these teams. I'll take Northern Illinois.
And I
Yeah.
and I will take Northern Illinois too. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know anything about Fresno. I know Northern Illinois beat Notre Dame. That's all I know.
Right.
So the lock of the week for the year, Nick, you stand right at 8-8.
So I got to get a tiebreaker. I'll take Indiana.
That's your lock?
Yeah. Plus 7.5.
And, all right. So that's your lock. Lock it up.
Yeah. Lock it up,
The
baby.
Hoosiers.
Right.
And then the RIP, nobody of I mean people died, but no famous
Nobody
actors.
caught our eye, so we're gonna hold our powder dry this week.
Okay, good. Good. All right. Well, that's the week, boys and girls.
All right. Some championship games. We'll see some championship football. First
Yeah,
time ever, these playoff games.
it's gonna be exciting, man. It's gonna
Yeah.
be really good. Actually, Saturday, me and Shelly, it's our anniversary, and we're going to the Ravens Steelers game Saturday
Oh, nice.
afternoon. My boy Lou hooked us up with tickets, so we're going to go see that game. I'm excited about going to that. That's always, I don't know if you ever been to that game
I have
in
not.
Baltimore and Pittsburgh. It's a
Right.
huge rivalry game. It's a
Right.
huge rivalry. I mean, Pittsburgh will show up with a bunch of fans. The Raven fans are crazy. That's going to be
Right.
a lot of fun. I've been to that game a couple times and really have enjoyed it. So it'll
All
be
right.
fun.
Have a good time.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Thanks, man. And we're bringing actually, Shelly's friend Mercy. I think you remember her,
Yes.
right? So Mercy
Sure.
is was in her wedding, so she's going to be
Right.
there as well. She was one of the bridesmaids. That's her and her husband
Right.
Greg are coming. That'll be fun.
Good. Good.
All right, man.
All
Thank you,
right.
Ricky. Get better, man. Hope you're not so tired.
All right. Thanks, brother.
Heal up. See you,
Be
man.
well.
Bye bye.
See you next.